So take off the 3 main screws, which will basically take off the whole mechanism. So everything down to here. Now what you need to do is get the the aperture mechanism correct. There is a little tab there, and that will, you can tell with the aperture will move. There's an armature there, moving that will open and close the iris. That then needs to be attached to the external part, but the problem is when you're focusing, the whole internal assembly moves down and up, so you can't just bolt it directly to the outside. It needs to run on a groove, so that when it moves down, it will still catch, and when it moves back up, it will still catch. So that you need to fashion a little U-shaped mechanism, but we'll go into that in a minute. So you will then need to get yourself a camera. Connect the mount to here. The white dot onto fits the mount, so it should be there. And on AV, we'll leave it at f1.4. It will stay at f1.4. Okay, so what you want to do is test by taking some pictures like so, with the infinity mark, with the focus marking to minimum, set to minimum distance. What you will need to do for the aperture is on the inside of the mount, the old mount, there is a U-shaped holding. It's basically a U-shaped bent piece of metal that fits on there, and that lets the pin for the iris slide up and down. You need to take that out, and I'll show you the exact design on how to do it. Right, the aperture ring goes back. If you line the yellow line up with the numbers, it will sit properly. You then have to. I've found that you do need to grind just a little bit, maybe 1.5 mil, 1 mil, off the aperture ring to get this to seat properly and to get the correct focusing distance. Let's have a look. There we go, at that distance. And the inner mechanism will protrude, the inner element will protrude out by 2 mil, 2.5 mil. So you would need to make an armature from this, with a bit of Dremel work and a little bit of elbow grease. I'll go do that now. Right, okay, now that you've disconnected the U-shaped piece from the inner ring, you can get rid of all of that. Once you have that piece, it's a matter of attaching that piece to the external ring, cutting it to size and bolting it down. Set the lens to 1.8 on the outer dial. Use the inner dial to open the aperture up to full. It goes onto a little notch and place the aperture arm that you've made, line it up and epoxy resin it into place. Simple as. Get some epoxy. Mix the two up. Aperture at 1.8. Epoxy resin. Here, set it down. Right, now that the aperture ring is dried, this is what it should look like. So what you do is take the aperture ring, line it up with the tab that controls the iris here.